Man, I want to talk about something, man. I've been talking to people lately and discussing certain things, man, and teaching people how to change. Like, it's some people they want to change. They really want to do something different. They want to change. They don't know how to change. That's the problem. That's the key issue we have out in society is people that want to change. They just don't know how to flip their switch and make the changes. So I'm gonna give like some personal stories that pertain to learning how to change from like certain habits and practices. Um what I've learned is if like when you learning to change, man, in the spirit world, it's either this or it's that. So when you learn to change, you got to look at it just like that. Either it's this or it's that. Either it's good or it's bad for me. That's what you're going to have to determine. And when you determine this, you're going to have to make a decision to to try to eliminate this particular habit that was built over time. And these habits, don't get me wrong now, are built over time. Nothing happens in a day. Rome was not built in a day. So what I'm trying to tell you is these habits that we have grown to come accustomed to, these habits, these habits are kind of destroying the blessings that are sitting right there on the other side of these bad habits. Some of us have poor work ethic. That's a bad habit. Not being timely is a bad habit. Um, Not being able to properly communicate is a bad habit. Um, Not knowing how to read is a bad habit because all these skills are sometimes learned. Like you can learn certain behaviors from someone that become habit. And when it becomes a habit, what you do is you start protecting it. You protect your habit. Like if you have someone with a drinking problem, you like, hey man, I think you need to lay off of them. They get mad at you. These people get so mad. And they'll get mad at you, but they never get mad at the habit that they done built, or the relationships that they're destroying, or the people that are around them that have to watch them struggle with this particular thing. And so I believe what my life goal is to teach people how to change. I'm not trying to teach you how to go to the advanced level. I'm just trying to teach you the basics on how to change. How to change, man. We have to learn how to do different. We have to learn how to do better. So, in learning how to do better, we have to change. We have to think about small changes first. We think about the small changes. And once we get the small changes worked out, then we move on to greater tasks. But we can't move on to greater tasks without dealing with base level things. So when I'm talking to people, I'm usually talking to the child in them. I'm not talking to the adult. I'm talking to the child because the child was disrupted with trauma. And so when you're talking to most of these people, they might be grown in body and they might be physically grown, but in their spirit and in their soul, they're longing for the child to be recognized. And so you have to teach these people because these people are really great. They're great, but they just don't know it. They don't know their true value. So when you change things, what you're like, what you're kind of manipulating is you're forcing them to go one step closer to God. Like when you learn who you are and when you start loving yourself, you get one step closer to God. So when you change, when I teach people about changing, so we went to Memphis and we had to do some work out there. And we had somebody about a breakup and she was so angry about this breakup. She was so angry. I mean, saying things. My thing is, I understand once a breakup happens, you be mad at the person, you start nitpicking everything they never done. And I understand that part. And so I let people get all their stuff out, man, because you be mad. And so what we what I do is I sit and I listen to these people and I see what's really going on here. And then she said something. She said, I've been hurt before this same way in other relationships. And I stopped right there. I said, hey, what's your relationship with your father? And she says, not a good one. Not at all. We don't talk, we don't deal with one another. I said, ha ha, ha ha. The child was disrupted by the father. Hmm. So now we have father issues. I was like, so what's happening is this hate for you that you have for your father, you don't have it for your common man. You don't have it for your brother. You see them, you might love them, you might want to be sexual and intimate with them, but still the hate that you have for your father is transferred over to these men. So they get punished for who your father was. And she stopped. I said, so until you deal with the father, because the child had to deal with the father. The child had to deal with the father. And so the child was like, Dad, I just want to see you more. And he may play you off or whatever. And so this particular arena was disrupted. I said, you have to go and deal with this father thing. I said, you have to forgive him. She was like, hey, forgive it, him. And you just don't know what he. I was like, it don't matter what he did to you. It don't matter. Don't matter. If he don't apologize, it don't matter. When somebody, um, of everything they've done to you. I mean, don't worry. You don't have to carry this burden no more. I'll give it to my father. I'll give it to my earthly, my spiritual father, my father in heaven. I'll give it to my father, but I'm not gonna hold no anger and animosity towards you no more. I'm done with that. When you start thinking like that, you change. Because first, you went through this process. You had to forgive somebody who is not who has not done right by you, probably ain't took care of you, probably never bought you nothing, ain't never took you to no dance or dates, ain't never show up for nothing. And you feel like if by forgiving them, you gotta honor them. Hey man, you can still honor them for bringing you to this world, but just say, hey, they not perfect, they not gonna be who I need them to be. Accept them for who they are so you can grow. You gotta grow, man. We can't keep fighting a battle that we ain't gonna never win. You ain't gonna never receive what you want from this person. So when you forgive them, you can move on. So in this process, what you do is you forgave, which is something most people don't do. And through forgiveness, you release yourself of all the burdens of these people and what they didn't put on you, the type of trauma they didn't put into your life. You release that. So that's the second thing you did. And the third thing you done is now you can move on to something else. You don't have to hold that burden no more. You don't have to be mad no more about it. You don't have to sit and wonder if they didn't love you. Man, they love you. They don't know how to love you, man. And that's all right. It's a lot of my family members that don't know how to love me. And it's all right, man. I don't hate these people. No way. They just don't know me. They don't know the real me that I'm a man in front of their eyes, and some people don't want to acknowledge that. And that's okay. I don't be mad at these people. I can still be around them, but I know we at base level. That's how my change works. I say, okay, I can still be around you. I can still love you. I just, I know it ain't that type of relationship. And that's part of change, changing small things. When you change small things, man, you make a step towards God, man. When you change things in your life, starting really, really small, and you change things, little bad habits like um cleaning up around the house. Like if your house a mess, just cleaning up your house, how it could just change things. Um, Learning to cook for yourself, learning how to change things. These little small tweaks that you make in your life are gonna make a big difference in the future. Because when you make small changes, man, you making tiny steps toward God, man, and God honors that. God honors people who are trying to make steps towards Him. So I want y'all to listen to this message, man. Listen to this message again, man, if you ain't catch it all the way. Listen to this thing again, man, because it's going to be important in the future. It's going to be important in the future. Peace out.